Liverpool get us up and running then, and 3 points will make the world of difference to these sides' respective seasons. After tough starts to the campaign, they know that this is a real opportunity to get points on the board. Both teams in their styles immediately very direct.
I was going to say that was an interesting kick-off even there from the kick-off for Liverpool, just hitting it. You know, it's a style we used to adopt, I think. When I used to play, it was kind of direct into the other half and try and get in and amongst them, but yeah, usually we're used to seeing teams keep the ball from the kick-off, so that was an interesting start from Liverpool.
They will get it back on the deck now and just try to settle themselves here in southeast London. It goes downfield, flicked on towards Enderby. It's going to be a routine playing for goalkeeper between the sticks for London City Lionesses today. Just a bit more from Kumagai there. Elena Letta. Shimizu, known of course from Manchester City. She did work with Gareth Taylor before. She opened her Liverpool account in the League Cup against Sunderland a couple of games ago. Here's Enderby.
Yeah, it's good to see Mary Herbinger back in the side again for Liverpool today, coming back from injury. I think she'll be, you know, a good addition to this Liverpool side, just to potentially control that midfield a little bit and be the real link-up play between midfield and the front line, especially with Enderby now in there. It's a player that looks to kind of get in behind and use her pace and get at defenders.
And back by Grace Sciorro. Probably the most celebrated move. London City Lionesses over the summer. 17 new faces they saw through the door, 15 left. And one of those, Sangare, bringing it out of defence, but her pass is a bit loose. Gareth Taylor, as mentioned, could lose 4 successive games in the WSL for the first time, although he has won 8 out of 9 in this division against newly promoted opposition. The only exception to that was actually when he was at Manchester City playing against Liverpool in his new side.
I think we're already seeing signs here, aren't we, of what Liverpool are trying to do in the first, 3 minutes of the game. The last couple of times they've had it at the back, they have gone direct and tried to get in and amongst the London City back line from the off. It's a slightly different style that we've seen them adopt under Gareth Taylor in the first couple of games, looking to play out. They are trying to go direct amongst this London City.
He also made a huge claim that he wanted Liverpool to be known as the best pressing team in Europe. Interesting to see, but that obviously relies on a lot of physicality, and playing a bit more direct as well means that they are going to get those chances to win the ball back high up the pitch and then creates the opportunities from there.
Yeah, definitely. And a player like Mia Enderby, who's leading the line today, that is someone who's full of energy, you know, full of life, and potentially will offer that kind of, she will set the tone for that press when it does come, the opportunities do arise, and then the rest of the Liverpool team have got to move on from that and follow on from her lead. Seems
for now as though London City Lioness is happy to let Liverpool try to play their way out, which they have done through the lines to find Enderby. Herbinger with the return ball. Now Capox. And there's an option at the far post as Holland waits. Enderby went for goal. The offside flag had already gone up.
Yeah, I really like the link-up play there, though, between Capox and Mia Enderby out on that left-hand side. I think it just shows what they're trying to do. Yes, she has strayed offside, but you can see she's either looking to get it across the box or take an early shot, which I think is what Gareth Taylor's been alluding to in his press conference this week. They want to be taking more shots against these sides. That they've not done that in games before at the start of this season, especially not taking their opportunities when they do arise.
The City Lionesses getting caught high up the pitch. Here's Kerry Holland. Midfield for Herbinger, who is starting to get a bit more involved in midfield. Here is Fisk. Finding Hollands. Forward goes Sam Kerr. Plenty of space, opportunity to cross here. Nobody home at the far post. Capox was slightly delayed in arriving into the area, but signals the thumbs up to that direction anyway. It's the right idea from Sam Kerr.
Yeah, again, right idea and right intention down this right-hand side. Sam Kerr showing bags of pace and bags of energy to get the cross in the box. A bit late arriving, but you can see there was the intent from about 3 or 4 players on the edge of the box there, which is a positive start again from Liverpool.
Mendes just nipping in ahead of Nagano. Back from injury, back into the starting 11. Brown did a decent job filling in, but Fernandez is, so far at least this season, has established herself very much as the first choice in that area. She's, of course, a 3-time winner of the Champions League, so there can't be too many complaints about that one internally. Plenty of experience within these London City Lionesses ranks. Here's Paris. Corrales. Another player from Barcelona's famed academy. It's on by Francie. Mendes on the overlap and then tracking back in front of the Liverpool bench. Fox is given the benefit of the doubt with the throw-in too.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say about, you know, the experience of players like Fernandez. You've got players like Lenario in the back line as well, Italian international experience, and then looking at, you know, players like Nikita Paris, who we know from, you know, the league before. She's got plenty of experience within the WSL and internationally. So, you know, they've got bags of experience across the team. It's just for me how they can use it, how they can connect as a team. And, you know, they didn't get a pre-season going into this season with all the signings they've got. So I think for me it's about how they can gel, how they can use those connections and really take chances when they come their way.
Joshua has spoken quite a lot about the start that they've had. They've had to play 3 of the division's 4 best teams from last season. Feels like now things are starting to settle down and they're starting to find their rhythm as Goodwin races through. It was a good starting position. And Rafaela Ugrefa.
Yeah, just showing a little bit there, London City, what we can expect from them when they do get the ball. They want to break quick and they want to, you know, link up play and do it with intensity, and managing to get in behind the Liverpool back line there. A little bit of a warning sign for Liverpool.
Herbinger. It's Capox. Shimizu, who was trying to get forward on the overlap, but well covered by Sangare. Just another example, though, of the pressing from Mia Enderby. Incredibly industrious and lively forward.
Yeah, and not only Mia Enderby, obviously when she goes in, we can see Sam Kerr getting high there as well, and Nagano as well. So they're pushing out on the back line as a 3, and then linking up really closely with the midfield.
Fernandez on the front foot now. Looking for Aslani. Jim Clark's going to get there first. Enderby trying to hold the ball up. She did well, actually. Not the biggest, but competed well against 19-year-old Vasa Sangare, who is on loan from Lyon. When we look at the back line for London City Lionesses, I know this shouldn't come as a surprise given their summer activity, but completely different.
Yeah, completely different. As you say, 17 new faces this season, so yeah, it will take time. I think it'll be all around the understandings and the connections across the pitch. You can see, you know, here London City, they're trying to press aggressively as well, so you've got 2 teams that are really trying to press and obviously play high up in that transition.
Sangare safely back to Elena Letta. Happily just slow the pace a bit. It has been a bit of a fast start by both teams. No chances carved out as of yet, but as Guy rightly points out, the team's very keen to get on the front foot. And this was where Goodwin was very nearly slipped in.
Yeah, we can just see what they're trying to do. You know, bodies are looking up really quickly, really early. Nikita Parras trying to bring in Aslani. It's a great pass into Izzy Goodwin. She just can't quite get on the end of it there, but Borgegraf does really well as well to get off her line. And you know, obviously second kind of game into this season, we'll see what she's all about and how she can come up to the challenge when she is faced.
Just joins Liverpool and Freiburg after a decade spent with the German side. Out for Sangare. Bit of space opening up now. They have the ball to that far side. Aslani. Kumagai. For Corrales. Seen a gradual improvement this season from London City Lionesses, that's for sure. Beaten 5-1 by Manchester United, 4-1 by Arsenal in their opening 2 games, but they weren't particularly outclassed by Manchester City despite the 4-1 defeat. They showed signs of promise there. Actually attempted 427 passes, that's their highest in a WSL game. They did carry some threat throughout with Izzy Goodwin and Nikita Parras as well.
Yeah, and even in that first half, you know, in the opening game against Arsenal, when I saw them play, I was actually like really pleasantly surprised with how they played, how they approached the game. I think they started that game in a bit of a 5 at the back, so they were a little bit more compact. But I think they, you know, they gave as good as they got for that first half. I think they were unfortunate with, you know, the 4-1 scoreline in that instance. But I think a real positive from London City, what they are doing is they're scoring goals in each of the games, which, you know, teams that have come up before have really found difficult coming into this WSL season. So for me, that's a real positive. It's just how they can, yeah, be more condensed, composed, compact at the back and concede fewer goals.
One of the big things that has hampered them this season is conceding penalties.
Yeah, definitely.
Struggle to defend their penalty area.
Yeah, some soft penalties as well. I think it's just from switching off in transition and, you know, not getting tight enough or maybe too tight to players and not reading the game as well as maybe they could have done. I think they got an unfortunate handball for one of the penalties as well. But, you know, they'll want to eradicate that as well because, again, it's just an easy opportunity for the opposition to score.
To put that into context, 4 of the 9 penalties awarded in the first 4 WSL match weeks were against London City Lionesses. A free kick awarded against them here. No prizes for guessing who is going to take charge of this situation. We've seen Herbinger smash them in from this sort of range before. Does she have eyes for goal, or will it be a crossing situation? See the heavy strapping. Favoured foot. She is going to loft this one in towards the far post. The Bonner had come a long way forwards. Rather theatrically, maybe caught a sore one in the back.
Yeah, she looks to be in quite a bit of discomfort there, Gemma Bonner. It looked like a bit of a coming together from what I saw in the original play. Obviously, Herbinger steps up and takes the free kick. Looks like he fell awkwardly, a little bit of a nudge in the back there, potentially from Nikita Parras.
Experience on experience.
Looks like she's landed on a stud of a football boot there, which looked quite painful, but yeah, no real reason for a penalty or anything in that instance for me. It's coming together, but I think they might be disappointed with that free kick there. Liverpool is an opportunity really for them in that first 15 minutes to really do something.
Corrales. Aslani losing out to Holland. Pushed wide by Herbinger. Here's Kerr. Holland again. A couple of options inside the penalty area. Find a way past Lenare. Bonner. Finding Kerr. Enderby on the move, making space for Kerr.
Yeah, I quite like this from Liverpool. A little bit of patience to their build-up, and they're not forcing errors, just as I've said that. Typical commentator's case there. But yeah, I think on this build-up on this right-hand side, Sam Kerr's looking lively in the middle, and I really like Grace Fish joining in the player there on that right-hand side as well.
Finale. Corrales, joined as a winger, is having to play a more reserve role at fullback. Out wide by Herbinger. Liverpool, of course, gets their first win of the season in the League Cup. They beat Sunderland by 5-0, but they were reminded of the size of the task at hand at home to Manchester United last time out in the league, losing 2-0. United did dominate that game. Of course, used to dominating possession with Manchester City. He's having to find a very different way of playing in charge of the Reds. Liverpool barely touching the ball in that first 45 minutes, but they've seen much more of the possession this afternoon.
Yeah, they have. I think, like you say, I think against Manchester United in the last game, they've got one shot on target. And, you know, for me, it's all about if you're keeping possession, great and fine, but it's got to be purposeful. And so when you are going forward, you need to take the shots that you've got on, get the shots off and be clinical with them, really. Just opportunities, I think, is the main thing for Liverpool today, especially if they can do so with, you know, possession, keeping the ball, and then it's those 50-50 challenges and 50-50 battles as the game progresses, making sure they're staying in the game.
Gauro looks to be the first player in Lee Heaslip's notebook this afternoon. The cynical one on Amelia Cowpox. It's interesting to see just how quickly Gauro, someone with that much talent, that much international experience, is able to pick up the pace of the WSL.
Yeah, I think, as you say, she's an experienced player, isn't she? The French international, I think. You know, for me, you expect that from an international, to be able to step into kind of any league and, you know, come in and impose yourself on the league. I think what I'm really interested to see how she does out of possession as well, and in that defensive role, and how she operates, especially with someone like Nagano in there in that midfield, and kind of who's going to win that battle and come out on top today between the two of them.
Francie. Fernandez's ball, looking for good win. There's Paris! Off the frame of the goal. It's London City Lionesses' best chance so far, and it fell to their top marksman.
Oh, it's a fantastic chance for London City Lionesses. You see here Nikita Paris just making herself big, imposing herself in the box. We know she's good in the air. She meets the ball first, and it just comes off the side of the post. You can see how disappointed she is there, because usually we'd see her finish at that close range with her head.
She will count that as a big chance, I'm sure. Scored in 3 of her 5 appearances so far this season. Manchester United, Manchester City and Crystal Palace. Two of those, of course, former clubs of hers.
Yeah, she likes to score against their former clubs, does Nikita. Obviously played as Nikita growing up quite a lot, and she's someone who's in training will give 150%. And you know, as a defender, I used to come up against her aerially all the time, and even for her height, you wouldn't expect her to get on the end of them, but she does so well in the air, and is obviously so composed. So I think, yeah, as I said, I think she'll be slightly disappointed she didn't manage to make the keeper work on that occasion.
Heavy touch by Nagano, invited the pressure, did well actually though. The Liverpool midfielder to skip away from Aslani, but still, London City press. That's how they're able to earn possession back. Kept in by Paris.
Seems like they've rode that early pressure, London City Lionesses, a little bit now, and starting to find their feet a little bit on the ball, a little bit more composure. And those connections and that link-up play you can see really coming in, especially out on this left-hand side and then into the flanks.
Here's Kurt looking for the return pass to Herbinger. Now Paris will hold off the challenges.
Yeah, she does well there, Nikita, just using her experience, bringing in the challenge, riding it a little bit to win the free kick.
Starting to see a bit more of her in the last couple of minutes. And the City have done a lot of shadow play in this game so far. Liverpool had the lion's share of possession. It's the hosts who have carved out the game's best opportunity, and they have seemed buoyed by that too. Nancy trying to get in behind. Managed to stay on her feet and pick out the cross too. Aslani was arriving. It needed to be cleared. That is a vital intervention right inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, it was a good bit of build-up play down that right-hand side. Again, Fernandez and Francie linking up really, really well down this right-hand side. You can see it looked almost like there was a little bit of a foul and a push, but the referee was giving none of it. And yeah, it's come across the box. They can't quite make it count on that occasion, but yeah, warning signs there for London City, especially down that right-hand side.
Twice in the last few minutes or so, they have threatened on that far side of the pitch. Well, they have a free kick from there too. Aslani stands over. The near post, Paris unable to flick it on, instead brings it down and finds the challenge from Enderby, who's done well. Can she spring a Liverpool counter-attack? The 20-year-old leading the charge and delayed and drew the foul. Good play by the Liverpool striker, perhaps could have led to more though.
Yeah, it definitely could have led to more, but I think Nikita Paris obviously using experience, you know, coming back into the fold there. She's recovered back because they lost the ball in their own half. I think good signs there from Mia Enderby though, in terms of her energy, her willingness to get back and defend and help the team out, and then obviously do that on the opposite side and helping the team in attack as well.
All of a sudden, this game has sparked into a bit more life.
There it has. I think we're seeing quite an evenly matched set of teams, to be honest, especially in this first 25 minutes. There's nothing really between the two. Both sides have had good spells, and it's kind of ebbing and flowing at the moment. It's a really exciting game so far.
Those spaces will certainly begin to open up as both of these sides try to just force the attacks that bit more. By Sangare. Mention about London City Lionesses' struggles defensively. They are still yet to keep their first clean sheet since promotion to the WSL. They have conceded the joint most goals in the WSL this season, ahead of today's kickoffs with 14. West Ham United suffering a similar fate. Here's Nagano. Why not? They've only scored once for Liverpool.
Yeah, but like you say, why not? Why not take that opportunity? And it's a clear directive, isn't it, from Gareth Taylor this week that he wants more shots, and when that opportunity arises, to be brave and to do so. And I think that's what, as you say, Nagano's done there. She's opened up her body. Yes, not on target, but again, it's positive from Liverpool.
Our only goal did come in a 3-1 win over Manchester United way back in March. She did sign a new deal at the start of August. She's not known for her goal scoring, is more just ticking things over in midfield, defensively as well, very sound. Perhaps that is another aspect of her game that she can add. Jenna Clark did very well under pressure from Izzy Goodwin.
Yeah, Jenna Clark does so well there, just the use of her body, just to shield the ball, especially from someone like Izzy Goodwin. And this will be a really interesting matchup between the two of them today.
Izzy Goodwin's brace did deliver. And the City Lionesses' only win in the WSL this season against Everton. 2-1 they won on Merseyside. Of course, she was the top scorer in the second tier last term with 16 goals. That was more than any player managed across England's top 2 divisions of women's football.
On those goal kicks, London City are obviously kind of pressing high, and they're leaving kind of the 4 up top on Liverpool's back line. Liverpool are doing really well to try and go direct and over that press, but I think what they need to do once they've gone over the press is obviously keep hold of the ball, retain the ball, and then turn the screw and get into, obviously, the opposition's half.
Nanare to Gauro. Nanare looks long. Goodwin had made the run in behind. Spotted by Fisk. As it comes for Kerry Holland.
There's a great bit of vision there from Gemma Bonner. I think she's using her experience well within the side. Obviously a very experienced player for this Liverpool team. Recently got her 200th appearance as well. So for me, I think she'll be pivotal in this game today, especially aiming to keep that clean sheet for Liverpool.
The third player in WSL history to do so. Double century of league appearances. Jordan Nobbs and Millie Bright have made more. Right place, right time again, Gemma Bonner.
Yeah, I think not only defensively as well, but I think she can be offensively really important for this team today, especially if they're getting in the areas for, you know, for set pieces in a game where goals are few and far between to come by. If set pieces make the difference, we know she can score on set pieces and can be effective in those areas.
She actually made her debut in the first ever WSL game following the rebrand against Chelsea 14 years ago.
Still going strong.
Not trying to make you feel old at all, Van. Oh, she has handled the ball there, though, although Emily Heaslip says it was in a natural position, and this will be controversial if Liverpool can spring forward to find Enderby. Time this afternoon, slightly too early.
Yeah, potentially a bit fortuitous with that one, Liverpool. It did look like it struck the arm of Gemma Bonner. And we see it again here. Ball comes into her, yeah, it's outside the natural position of her body. I think that would have been especially hard done by if Liverpool had gone on to break there and, you know, get an opportunity on goal.
Guy. They go for Lionesses, 100 Italian caps herself. That's been given away by Paris. Nagano. Becker. By Herbinger, trying to bring Holland into play. so slightly ahead of her. And Allows left her to get in there and pounce.
Again, good energy, good excitement from Liverpool there. You know, Nagano's starting the press. I think for Liverpool, I think she's making it tick for them in that midfield. You see her again here. Just forcing any errors, trying to not let London City out. But when they do make it out the press, this is when they need to obviously capitalise.
It was a lovely ball in field, wasn't it, to find Aslani, and unfortunately, Harris runs out of pitch.
See there the space that opens up for London City when they do manage to make it out of Liverpool's high press.
Half an hour gone. Bromley, and still nothing to separate these two sides. With the goal coming to Liverpool's aid. Chances have been few and far between.
Defending there from Grace Fisk, obviously reading the play really well. See what Linari was trying to do, trying to bring it out into his left-hand side and switch the play really early.
The pressure from Herbinger invited the challenge of Enderby, and as she had felt as though she'd won the ball back, she is pulled back for the free kick. Emily Heaslip very decisive there in her Wardle.
Yeah, she does well, Mia Enderby, in the first instance to win it back, and little tug back there from Grace Fioro.
So Herbinger, time, decided to cross. This one a bit closer in. Better angle for the right footer. I think she may just fancy this. Fisk, Bonner and Enderby all up there just in case. Litter frantically tries to arrange a wall. Back from injury. Marie Herbinger. It was low, it was comfortable. Bounced at a good distance for the goalkeeper.
Really, when Liverpool have got to make these opportunities count. It's Herbinger with the free kick, but it's an easy one. It's direct at the keeper and straight into the keeper's hands.
She gives chase again. Clark is in the way. She has had a good start to this game, actually. Jenna Clark very quietly and efficiently going about her business. I was talking ahead of the game, seeing that he's starting to see signs that his team are adapting to the league and getting a bit more familiar with the rhythm. So the foundations have certainly been there from the opening few games to build upon.
Yeah, they'll definitely need that time. I think you can see it at times here today. The connections sometimes are a little bit off, maybe a little bit of a lack of communication at times, but you know, that will come as they, you know, the experience grows within the league. And as I say, it has been within the opening first few games, and what difficult games to start with, but to really start, you know, from the ground running now, where these games and these points probably matter, and where they'll be looking to pick up points, they'll be able to do so.
The corner to defend now. Already identified that these set-piece situations could prove to be pivotal for Liverpool. They just need to make the most of them. And Bonner goes forward. Herbinger assumes responsibility. 10 minutes before the interval. Herbinger drives it across, and later with a very, very commanding take there inside her own 6-yard box. Clear shout from the Spaniards. you want from your goalkeeper.
Yeah, Leita does really well there. Obviously just commanding a box, showing her experience. The ball in from Herbinger from the corner was probably a little bit too lofted. Didn't really give anyone the opportunity to get on the end of it, but I think Leita does really, really well commanding her area.
Nagano picks out compatriot on the far side, Shimizu. Turns the favour. Chance for Bonner to step out of defence. Enderby. Kerr. Now Hollands. Morales very quick to join her. Nagano.
Yeah, Liverpool won't mind this, being patient in the build-up and possession. Trying to get as many passes in before they then make that edge cutting pass going forward. But again, you have to be patient in possession, yes, but when you do have the ball, how are you going to take your chances going forward?
Difficult one for Enderby to deal with there. It's allowed City to come back forward, and Fox, very committed challenge on the halfway line, shall we say.
In the last 5 minutes, we've just seen both teams just really slow in their intensity a little bit. I think the game needs that energy back into it, where we've seen obviously Mia Enderby in that first 5-10 minutes, she was looking lively. And Nikita Paris, when she has got the ball coming into the game again, would look lively, but it just seems to have slowed down in the last 5-10 minutes a little bit.
It has been a first half of very, very clear segments, hasn't it, where both teams just feeling each other out to begin with. And one team attacked, the other was just biding their time, storing their energy, and then it was their turn, and now, as you rightly point out, Vern, a bit more of a lull as we approach the interval. Towering header there by Sangare. Of approval next to me.
I'm nodding because I used to love doing headers like that when I was playing in the centre of defence. She reads the play really well. That's what you want from your centre half at times, and get your team in a good position, get them set so you can get organised, ready to defend the next play.
Covered by Kumagai. For Corrales. The touch was heavy. Started to get a little untidy, but Liverpool still able to hold on to possession.
It's here when obviously the build-ups, it's slowing down. We're trying to obviously be patient in our possession, but what we are doing, what Liverpool are doing, is giving the opposition time to get set and to get organised, and then it's making them difficult. It's making it difficult for Liverpool to then find those passes and find any space in behind the back line because they're organised and they're set.
One of the things that both managers will look to address at the interval, just be focused and making sure that when those passes are being made, they are crisp, they're into the feet or into the space, depending on what's required. It's been the tidiest of first halves from that point of view.
Yeah, it's that pace on the pass, it's that quality on the pass and that crispness that when you are playing into, you know, a player obviously on the side of you, you want to make sure they can do something with the ball and not make it difficult for them, which at times we've seen that today with the lack of quality.
Here's Gaoro. Now Francie down the centre. Aslani. Very Jones had vacated the left wing. He was waiting for an option, there wasn't one there, and Liverpool will now pounce on the counter-attack. Capox. Enderby, the only player in red with her. That is until Herbinger's arrival. The City Lionesses back in their defensive shape once more.
Yeah, it just broke down a little bit over there on this left-hand side between Aslani and Francie there. I think it's what we've been talking about, is those connections, that communication maybe lacking a little bit at times for London City Lionesses today.
Fisk. Space to run into here, Nagano. What a brilliant pass that is. Mia Enderby with the chance. Again, it is a familiar sight here on the near side as the flag goes up for offside.
It does, but Nagano just finds herself in space. The defence unsure, leaves a gaping hole in the middle, and for me, it's really difficult. She looked onside on the original play there, Mia Enderby. It's very, very tight on that back line, but all sorts of problems in the London City Lionesses back line there, was gaping holes in the middle.
Oh, she is such a useful outlet, Mia Enderby, popping up in spaces. She needs to time her runs a bit better this afternoon. That one was perhaps the closest call the official on this near side has had to make.
You see Nikita Parrish just dropping in deeper to try and receive the ball now, potentially getting a little bit frustrated that it's not getting up to her feet and she's not getting the service maybe she needs.
She'll be telling her teammates that as well.
Yeah, she won't be shy in voicing those opinions, I'm sure.
Kept in by Hollands. This is Liverpool's first trip to London City Lionesses in all competitions, actually, since beating them 2-0 in 2023-24 FA Cup 5th rounds.
For me, I'm just seeing a real lack of movement in front of the ball. You see, you know, Rafaela Borgegraf getting on the ball there and looking to play out again. Here we see she does just stray offside. I think it's really, really tight, but as you say, potentially can she time a run there, because that's a fantastic opportunity for Mia Enderby.
Signed a new deal back in July, having scored 5 goals last season, Mia Enderby. Momentarily, her eyes lit up. Off she goes again, giving chase. Number 13 on number 13. It's number 77 that comes out on top.
Lunari didn't look quite sure there whether a goalkeeper's going to come out to get that. A little bit of uncertainty there between the central defender and Leite.
I do wonder, you have a mixture of nationalities, a number of new faces, of course, in that back line. Spanish, Italian, French. What the languages that they're actually communicating in. I heard a bit of Spanish from Corrales on this near side. Aimed towards Minare earlier on in the game. Probably going to be a bit of a mixture.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe that's what, you know, we're saying. Maybe the connections are slightly lacking, or communication. Potentially, you've seen there's a few areas where that could have been improved before. It's when obviously body language starts to come into it, and obviously using signals becomes even more important when maybe the communication isn't quite as readily available.
I suppose as a goalkeeper as well, if the shout is the loudest, it's probably going to be your ball. Here's Hollands. Out for Fisk. Holland trying Trying to get the better of Corrales, who will... I was going to say shepherd that one out, but still they battle. And Liverpool, right at the end of the first half, have another opportunity to cross this ball into the box.
Kerry Holland did really, really well there for me, just using her body, using all her experience there to make it really difficult for Corrales, and, you know, win a free kick just before half-time. Really important free kick, potentially for her side. She does really well.
So there is no added time, so it will just be this delivery. And Liverpool with the chance to go ahead before the interval. Herbinger's ball in towards Bonner. Clark was there as well. And that will be it for this first half. So chances few and far between, but Nikita Parris has come closest, hitting the frame of the goal. Header she felt she could have done better with. It's been one of those first half of footballs where we do think there must be more to come in the second period. Half-time here in Bromley. It's London City Lionesses 0, Liverpool 0.
Especially in and around that final third, and a bit better link-up play.
So a bit less direct from kick-off in this half. We saw Gemma Bonner obviously smash one long downfield from kick-off in the first 45 minutes. And actually, this may have worked out better for Liverpool, with London City trying to play their way through the lines. Liverpool winning it back high up the pitch, starting this game with renewed attacking impetus. Netta will clear her lines, and Goodwin will give chase, and Goodwin is quick as well, and Gemma Bonner was struggling for a second. And blushes are spared by the offside flag, but how quick is Izzy Goodwin?
That just shows, doesn't it, the challenge there that Gemma Bonner's facing up against Izzy Goodwin, the pace she's got. She's come from behind her there to potentially nearly beat her in the race. It was, yeah, a bit of a nervy moment there for Bonner in the Liverpool back line.
If you're Jocelyn Procher on the touchline, whether you're looking at that particular moment and thinking, well, do you know what, we can be far more direct now. Let's put Gemma Bonner under a bit of pressure and exploit the pace of Izzy Goodwin.
Yeah, potentially, as you say, when the option's on and when it's the right time and there's space in behind, it wouldn't be a bad option for them to try that and go direct at times. It's just them picking their moments and making sure it's actually on for them to do so, and then it's not a forced long ball.
Taylor will be well aware that Liverpool haven't scored in the league since the opening day of the season. That 4-1 defeat at home to Everton. And that goal came in the 12th minute, so it has felt like a lot of football has gone by since his side have celebrated a goal in the WSL.
Yeah, and obviously he's mixed it up today and putting obviously Mia Enderby up there up top, but you know, someone who's sitting on the bench today, Sophie Roman Hogg, is, you know, we know she's a goal scorer and she's done so for Liverpool in the past. It's a, you know, it's a fantastic option for them to have, to be coming off the bench.
And it goes from Sangare. That's a lovely bit of tight play by Herbinger, who was brought down. Play goes on. Fisk. Holland, who certainly grew into the first half. Over the top, looking for Rana Fisk. Aslani. Forward for Goodwin. This time she had both Liverpool centre-backs on her case.
I was going to say, they made no mistake that time, Liverpool, did they? Both Gemma Bonner and Clark doubling up on her, on Izzy Goodwin there in that instance. They don't want to, you know, get an opportunity where she gets a 1v1 against them again.
She was so clinical, so effective. Such a reliable weapon for London City Lionesses to deploy in the second tier. Many were questioning just how she would adapt and adjust to playing against better defenders in the WSL. So 2 goals at this level, both of those coming in the same game. There are obviously those glimpses where you do see she is worrying those defenders. Here's Fernandez. With the ball in. That one is very clearly called and claimed.
Yeah, I think if we can see more of that from London City Lionesses in this second half. You know, Fernandez, Corrales getting up of the wings, getting up higher, supporting the play a little bit more, putting the Liverpool back line under pressure. It could be quite dangerous for them.
Well, their big chance from the first half came from as a risky pass goes out by Rafaela Mogrefa. Liverpool have worked this one well. Enderby lining with Herbinger. She was dispossessed by Linare, who had tracked her a long way. In fact, has momentarily switched places with Kumagai. That is an option. We know that the Japanese captain, our international side, can play at centre-back, should she be required. And that returns to their natural positions.
Yeah, again, just losing that link up there a little bit. You see Nikita Parrish trying to get on the ball out on that left-hand side. It's just breaking down, especially in this, you know, final third for London City Lionesses.
Fernandez steals it back. And here's Aslani into Goodwin. Behind Fernandez, allowed Liverpool to nip in. Now, two players coming forward. Kerry Holland is a powerful runner, we know that. She just doesn't have the legs to go all alone.
Holland did really well there in the initial moment to pick it up out on that right-hand side. She just was outnumbered at the end there when she was trying to find Mia Enderby. We see here, she picks it up, she powers on, she's driving at the London City Lionesses back line, but she can't quite make up her mind as to whether to take them on or whether to try and find Mia Enderby, and it just breaks down in that instance.
That's, of course, an important part of Liverpool's championship winning side 3 years ago. Kerry Holland, she has done really well to master the step up to WSL football. Signed a new deal this summer as well, having made more than 100 appearances for the Reds. Herbinger. Kumagai forward for Goodwin.
I think when London City do try and play forward and they're trying to find the feet of Izzy Goodwin, I think it's really, you know, positive. Gemma Bonner stepping on her, being there in the first instance to make sure she makes it difficult for her so she can't get hold of the ball. And they're going to have to stay switched on, those two centre-halves in Bonner and Clark, throughout the course of the second half.
That's a clear directive. Jocelyn for shot. Here's Paris. Gaoro.
Can see what she's trying to do there, Gaoro. First thought forward, trying to play it into the path of Francie on this right-hand side, but it just doesn't quite pay off on that occasion. Just that little lacking in quality and that bit of finesse in between the midfield and the front three.
Conviction in the passes as well. Better from Liverpool. Finds Fisk. Dispossessed by Corrales. City Lionesses are yet to draw in the WSL since their promotion. 3 points, of course, against Everton, but the other 3 have been defeats against the division's 4 biggest sides.
It's getting a little bit scrappy between the two now, isn't it? I think it's, you know, those passes and the going into your teammate, can you put them in with quality, so they're not bobbling up at her kneecap and her, you know, at the shin. It's got to be done so she can play off 1 and 2 touches and make those connections smooth and make the, you know, the transition into midfield.
Okay, all right.
And the front three better.
Finding Paris, a bit of space opening up now for Sani Francie. See the intention, wants to look for Goodwin. Perhaps she may have even fancied a shot on goal herself.
Yeah, they do really well again to link up. Nikita Parris does really well to play it out on the right-hand side to Francie, but for me, I think she's got to do better. She's got to play it across the front of the 6-yard box. It's too close to the goalkeeper in that instance.
It's Fernandez. Fans desperately trying to generate a bit more atmosphere as we approach the 5th minute of this game. Greffert, that's a heavy touch, it invited the challenge, and there's Izzy Goodwin! Off the post, still not cleared. And it's all getting a bit frantic inside the 6-yard box before eventually Emily Heaslip blows her whistle. A huge let-off for the German goalkeeper, and Izzy Goodwin will be wondering, what if?
Yeah, I think they'll be breathing a huge sigh of relief here, Liverpool. I'm not sure what the goalkeeper's doing in this instance. It comes back to maybe a little bit too composed. Awful first touch out of her feet, and Izzy Goodwin will be disappointed she couldn't do anything there, but what a fantastic touch from Clark there, just to tip it onto the post and stop it going in the back of the net. You can see here again, just comes off the outside of her boot. That is fantastic defending, unbelievable from Jenna Clark there.
Jenna Clark did lead the team out in the League Cup win against Sunderland, and she's put her body on the line for her team there. Showing real leadership from the back. The first touch onto the post was superb defending. And then the second, well, it was just about making sure that she provided some sort of barrier. It was effective. Out it goes. London City Lionesses, they have their tails up now. Corrales' shots goes high and wide. But it is met with a warm applause from the home fans, who sense the momentum is shifting their way.
Yeah, they're really positive now, the home fans, aren't they? You can see it building. It comes out onto this left-hand side. Shouts for offside for Corrales on this left-hand side. She goes to take the shot, takes it early, not on target, over the bar, but you can see what's happening now. London City Lionesses growing in confidence in the second half.
It's much more like it from Jocelyn Prochure's side. Liverpool seem a bit shaken. A couple of loose touches here and there, a couple of spaces opening up where perhaps they may not have done before.
Yeah, which is why it makes it all more important for Liverpool to stay in tune, stay alert at this moment in time and kind of ride that pressure and ride that wave. And I think, you know, that really last-ditch tackle or clearance, what we've just seen from Jenna Clark there, was fantastic, and hopefully that momentum shifts onto the rest of their team, because that was unbelievable from her.
There's his throw-in. It's Aslani again. There's Jenna Clark in the way. There goes Francie. Jenna Clark once more. On a mission she is to preserve a clean sheet.
Yeah, and that's got to set the tempo for the rest of the team. You know, when you're defending like that and you're winning 1v1 tackles and you're winning 1v1 battles, that momentum should hopefully infiltrate amongst the team around you, especially in moments like this when you're in a set piece and you've got to stay switched on, you've got to stay alert. Moments like this are more important.
London City Lionesses corner. As the crosses in from the right-hand side that caused Liverpool problems in the first half. What can Aslani conjure up? Here comes the Swedes delivery. It was over everyone's heads. Minare will be able to keep that one in play.
Yeah, it's just long from Aslani out on the corner, out on this right-hand side. She can't get it into the box. It's too long, and Minare can't quite keep it in on the opposite side. But again, positive sides from London City that they're willing to take this to the, you know, to the Liverpool team. They've obviously really took on the message at half-time from Prochure, potentially just to get in and amongst the Liverpool backline and make it awkward for them.
Fisk able to take it in her stride. Slightly behind Carpox, and again, Liverpool counter-attack comes to a halt. Some midfield play by Grace Gaoro, meanwhile. Here's the French midfielder now. Here's Fernandez into play. Here's Francie for Goodwin. Lionesses starting to purr that bit more. Bit of space now for Kumagai.
That's under no pressure as well from Kumagai. Probably not something we're used to seeing from her. Completely putting the ball out under no pressure. It's that lacking in quality. But I think for Liverpool, what they potentially need to do is get themselves higher up the pitch and get a little bit more pressure on London City when they do have the ball in their back line, making it a little bit too easy for them to play out at times.
Kumagai, of course, 5-time Champions League winner. She was an important part of Phase 1 of Michelle Kang's project here. She's achieving promotion to the WSL. These two all about establishing this side in the top league in Europe. They're going to do that by getting approval for a new training ground, which came in last week. A world-class training centre. Pop-down Park in Ditton. Trying to make it one of the most advanced facilities in the world, built specifically for the needs of female athletes.
Substitution for Liverpool coming off, number 13.
First change for Liverpool. Mia Enderby has run her course this afternoon.
To be replaced by number 11, Victor Olsen.
And it's Olsen coming on in her place. 24-year-old only made her full WSL debut away to Leicester. 1-0 defeat 2 weeks ago following her move from Christian Stats. Will be a like-for-like substitution. Fresh legs up there to help with Gareth Taylor's press.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think that's what they need up there. You know, we talk about it, 5 minutes ago in terms of that press and can they get a little bit higher and put the pressure on London City's back line. I think that's what he's done to bring Olsen in, and she can be that energy to kind of lead the line and hopefully infiltrate that on the rest of the team.
Paris. Mention about the developments to the infrastructure for London City Lionesses off the pitch. Well, Fahy was brought in as Liverpool's first technical director for the women's side. She's only recently retired, of course, last season. A glittering career, led the team as the skipper for the past 5 years before Grace Fisk took over this summer. As technical director, she's going to be playing a key role in shaping and supporting the club's future, focusing on their development, recruitment, strategic planning, the academy pathway as well, all really important facets if this club are to really establish themselves again at the top of the women's game.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's fantastic when you see clubs really kind of utilising players that have got that experience and that knowledge and have been there before. I think, there's no one that understands the game or playing the game more than people who've been there, done it and played it themselves. So to take that knowledge and hopefully for their development on the off of the pitch, even better.
There was a big chance for London City Lionesses in this second half, and again, brilliant defending by Jenna Clark. Goodwin had a lot of the goal to aim for. The Scottish defender made herself big and got the crucial touch in as well.
She did. I think Izzy Goodwin will look back at that and think I put it in the the exact right place I was aiming to. I was going for bottom corner, opposite side of the goalkeeper in the space, and no one will have expected her to be able to get a touch on that, Jenna Clark.
Advantage played in this latest attack. Liverpool had enough time to get back into their defensive structure again. Sangare lofted up towards Nikita Paris. As well on the point about Nifahi, obviously got all of her experience, but also she is that respected voice, isn't she? Someone that will be listened to inside the club because of everything that she has achieved within her career. So it's a benefit to her that she's able to get that experience in, but also to the club too.
Oh yeah, real benefit to the club, and to to be that link between the players, between the backroom staff, between the manager, I think is key, and I think it'll be important. I think it could be a model for more clubs to follow in the future, and how you utilise recently retired players and all the knowledge and experience and expertise that they have. And she's a well-educated player as well. She's done lots of studies off the pitch, so she will bring that to the table also.
Well, her position was only confirmed recently. She has actually been working at Melwood for the last month, getting up to speed, already putting in some processes. Kumagai. Morales joins the attack. That's an inviting cross. Goodwin was rising. Relatively unchallenged as well, ever so slightly above her heads. Can't climb high enough. Rani forces the throw-in.
Yeah, just increasing the pressure a little bit now. London City Lionesses on this Liverpool side, aren't they? Corrales is well to get the ball in. I think it's a bit too lofted for me. It doesn't really give the attackers really much opportunity, and Izzy Goodwin times a run all wrong in that instance. So for me, it's positive, but I think in those moments when you are getting the opportunity to cross the ball into the box, it has to be done zipped in with pace and at a good height for the attackers to be able to get the end on the end of it.
Freya Godfrey back from injury, making her WSL debut for London City Lionesses. She comes on in place of Sammy Francie. A talented, tricky, technical winger, signed permanently from Arsenal this summer.
Yeah, she'll be hoping to link up with Fernandez out on this right-hand side as well, and cause more problems down this right-hand side, which they have done throughout the game. In fairness, I think it's just a case of, as you say, fresh legs, a little bit more energy down here to cause Liverpool problems.
Built in a similar mould to Izzy Goodwin. Oh, it's been given away. There's Gayorro. An opportunity on the follow-up. And for the second time, Liverpool can breathe a sigh of relief. A defensive mix-up of their own causing very nearly opened the door for London City Lionesses.
Liverpool just causing themselves all sorts of problems, and any real chances that are getting created, they're the maker of their own demise a little bit. And it again starts with the goalkeeper. As the balls come into her, takes far too long on the ball, and there's pressure on the ball, yes, slightly, but Gayorro just can't quite find the back of the net. You see here, she looks up straight into the path of Gayorro, gets down for a fantastic save, and again, body's on the line to make sure it doesn't go in, but it's really, really sloppy from Liverpool.
It's an excellent recovery challenge, isn't it, by Fuka Nagano. I'm not sure she ever wanted that pass from her goalkeeper. Maybe that's one of those, Fern, where you look up, you see a picture, and by the time you've looked back down to the ball, that whole picture has changed.
Yeah, we see pictures change so quickly in football, of course, but when you've got someone like Gayorro on the edge of your 18-yard box and you're that close, you've just got to make the decision at sometimes to just empty and not try and play out from the back and put your team under too much unnecessary pressure. As you say, I think Nagano did really, really well with the recovery run, but she's been saved twice from her teammates now.
All of the big opportunities in this game falling London City Lionesses' way. They are yet to take advantage of the 3 openings that Liverpool have given them.
Yeah, I think that time playing out from the back there, it's paid off from them. You can see it's what they're trying to do. It's a real style of their play, but they just need to make sure they don't force it at times when it's not on. And if it's not on, how do you put the opposition's back line under pressure by, you know, maybe finding the midfield or the forwards' feet direct?
Which is interesting, really, isn't it, given the way that Liverpool started this game. They were very much route one, find the channels, knock it long, no nonsense, and as they've sort of settled into a rhythm in this game, started to try and play out from the back. Perhaps it wasn't the wisest of ideas. Godfrey spotted Nikita Paris on the move, who's in behind and just couldn't take it in her stride. Really unfortunate bounce just in front of her. Great vision shown, though, by Freya Godfrey.
It was great vision. I think, you know, potentially see it again, but originally she looked offside to me, Nikita. You can see the Liverpool back line calling for it as they held the high line, but, you know, for Freya Godfrey to come on and have that straight away, I think she's showing a little bit of spark, a little bit of energy.
Goodwin unable to take that one in her stride, but again, Freya Godfrey keen and willing to make things happen. Back to her keeper. This time, make sure. Benari. Izzy Goodwin, who was offside.
Yeah, I think in that instance we've seen the goalkeeper learn from her mistakes a little bit and just try and ease the pressure off her back line.
Morales. 20 minutes for either of these sides to make the breakthrough. Here's Paris for Goodwin. Couldn't get the purchase on the shot. It was a routine save in the end.
Yeah, using the wide areas, Corrales got far too much time and space. Nikita Paris as well to get it across, and I think Goodwin's going to be really disappointed because she's had some fantastic chances in this game and it's just not quite fell to her in the way she'd have hoped. Didn't quite connect as she would have liked.
With that, it's a front foot defending. And Fernandez is on the receiving end. Solani gets another opportunity to send this ball into the Liverpool penalty area. Solani's free kick. Up towards Izzy Goodwin. This one nestling on the roof of the goal. She is getting more involved by the minute.
Much better from London City Lionesses. Free kick at a good height, and Izzy Goodwin can't do enough to direct it under the crossbar, but the chances are coming more and more frequently for London City now.
Liverpool need to be careful because the home side are starting to build some momentum. And they are starting to find their star striker that bit more. Sangare just taking a heavy challenge.
Yeah, I think she does well defensively, Sangare there, to come and meet the ball first instance. It's just a collision of the two players afterwards.
The awkward landing for the 19-year-olds. Spent the second half of last season on loan at Le Havre. The Jocelyn Prechot will know it very well from his time managing in France. That's where he did work with Grace Gaoro. Fernandez. He did well there, under pressure from two. Liverpool's final ball again, lets them down, given away. And here comes Saslani! Wide of the goal. Inter wouldn't even make the goal line. Took a lot of the pace off the ball, trying to get it past the on-rushing Liverpool keeper. Another chance goes begging.
Yeah, as you say, another chance there for London City Lionesses. You're just starting to feel the more and more chances they get, you're not going to, they're not going to hopefully brew these chances that they've created. That's, 3 or 4 within the space of the last 10 minutes. Real good, clear-cut chances as well.
They've scored in all 5 of their games across all competitions this season. They've not been shut out yet, but if they are to be shut out this afternoon, they can only have themselves to blame. Created the chances. Some of them have been gift-wrapped for them by Liverpool. Still, we remain goalless.
I think even in that last instance, like Herbinger's got the ball in a good position for Liverpool, and again, it's just giving the ball away, sloppiness.
Hernandez is able to reach that one, but unable to keep it in. But let's take another look at that latest Aslani chance.
Yeah, they do really well here, and it's Goodwin this time who's the provider. She's passed the ball through. Aslani's onside. Just can't creep it into the back of the net. Liverpool players rushing back. Goalkeeper does really well to get the fingertips to it in Liverpool's goal. So, again, another opportunity goes begging for London City.
Took the pace off it, didn't it, as well? The intervention by Rafaela Ugrefa. Close fist to rescue it. It was heading wide anyway, but still keep it in play. For a player of her quality, and she has it in buckets, she'll be incredibly disappointed with the end result of that latest move. Equally encouraged as the captain by what she has seen from her side in the past 10-15 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think there's still plenty of time, isn't there, for London City, and that's probably going to be the directive from the manager now as they come together. Guys, like, you are all on top. There's time to create. You're creating chances. It's just about putting them in the back of the net. But for Liverpool, I think at the moment, yes, they've got a clean sheet and they're trying to hold on to that, but offensively for me, they're not showing enough. They're not taking enough to London City, and trying to create enough for me to say that they're potentially going to score from open play in this game.
Water break for both teams as we head into this final 15 minutes. As Fern correctly points out, plenty of time still to get that winner. And what 3 points would mean for both of these sides in terms of their seasons. Started this match day in 9th and 11th. Liverpool could be argued to need those 3 points much more than London City Lionesses, although Jocelyn Prochot, of course, have lofty ambitions himself. He is targeting a top half finish this season, although he was very non-committal in his answer when the direct question came in. But I think that's perhaps where they see themselves. It's where Michelle Kang sees them competing. Gareth Taylor, I think it's just about restoring a bit of confidence and just getting that ball rolling that bit more this season.
Yeah, Liverpool, you get the sense of the feeling that they kind of they need to get themselves off the mark to kind of instill that confidence a little bit back into the team. Obviously, they've lost massive players this season. The loss of Olivia Smith is a big one for them. She was a fantastic player for them last season. And I think they're really feeling the loss of her, especially in that offensive third and putting pressure on teams. And obviously scoring fantastic goals as well. And not only that, they've lost Taylor Hines, who, was their captain last season. So they're going through a bit of a transition period, Liverpool, and I think you can see that all over the pitch.
Holland losing out. Corrales can power forward herself. Euro. That's the momentum of the counter-attack. The City Lionesses now. There's another tester for Jenna Clark, and a bit of a test of the communication with her goalkeeper as well. Still, it looks a bit nervy, it looks a bit uncoordinated, the connection between the goalkeeper and her defenders.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised at that, given what's happened and the chances that have came from a few mistakes at the back. So it probably will be that air of nerviness around the back line and the goalkeeper.
suppose for balance, it is only McGreffer's second WSL appearance, still getting used to her new teammates. I guess Gareth Taylor's way of playing as well.
Times like Nikita has found herself isolated a little bit out on that left-hand side and potentially would have been wanting more to get into the play, and we've not seen that kind of fluidity across maybe the front three and the midfield as we've been used to seeing in previous games.
Let's see, plenty more action in the first half than she has done in the second. Same can be said, I guess, for the second half of the Manchester United game as well. A lot more involved. That's the City game, sorry, I should say. The City Lionesses are readying 2 changes. It'll be interesting to see whether that points to a change in system or whether it is just like for like with the personnel. Sangare. Fernandez. Over the top looking for Freya Godfrey. Full of running still.
Yeah, again, Jenna Clark does really well to read the play, read the ball and sweep up for Liverpool. I think she's been, you know, fantastic, really important for them in the back, and especially in the last 15, 20 or so minutes.
Double change, Julia Roda.
Substitution for London City Lionesses. Please show your appreciation for number 9, Kosovare Aslani.
Captain leaving the pitch, Kosovare Aslani, who of course had the most recent of the 4 second-half chances that London City have spurned.
And coming off for London City Lionesses, number 88, Grace Fioro.
Grace Fioro also leaving the pitch.
And coming on number 19,
Lotta Lindström. Just add a bit more of an injection of pace, you imagine, and directness to the London City Lionesses attack.
Yeah, I think with those changes, we see that London City they're not done yet. They're obviously trying to really push for the win here. And you can't really blame them given the chances they've had in the last 10, 15 or so minutes. They're definitely the team on top.
It's as though it has altered where Nikita Paris is stationed on the pitch.
Yeah, interesting given what we've just been saying as well. She's been a little bit isolated potentially out in the wide area. She's kind of moved more central into more of a striker's role, which we've been so used to seeing play in the past and score important goals from.
Just to get the old big striker, little striker combination back up and running. That is what they are doing, going for 2 up top, London City Lionesses. See what their partnership with Izzy Goodwin is like. It's only the 7 minutes for them to make the difference here. Roda. Sangare. And it goes. Paris took a tumble. Space for Capox. And back by Sangare, who will continue her run forwards. Paris still getting back up to her feet. Not quite on the same wavelength as Fernandez, but does eventually reach her. The ball is too close to Barclays.
Yeah, Fernandez just trying to hit Nikita Paris aerially again for the 2nd time today out from this right-hand side. It didn't quite pay off on that occasion.
And back in an advanced area. Freya Godfrey, she has looked good since coming on.
Yeah, I think she has. She's looked lively out on this right-hand side.
He's just about staying.
I think she's linked up really well with Fernandez. between the two of them down this right-hand side. You see them trying to cause all sorts of problems, and even in Sangare now, she's trying to get a little bit higher. You can sense they're really pushing London City.
Lindstrom. Oh, that's loose. It invites Olsen to burst forward, but she's going to run out of space. It's Fernandez, showing very quick recovery speed.
Liverpool are sitting so deep now that when they do get the ball in possession and when they're trying to get out, they're obviously trying to find the feet of Olsen, who's the highest player at the pitch, but she's in so much, she's just in isolation. And they can't get the numbers in and around her to keep hold of the ball for long enough.
This time it's Sam Kerr leading the press.
It is, but she's doing so on her own.
There we go, it's Greffer came a long way, and Paris pokes it just wide. It was a committed challenge from both sides.
She looks to be in a lot of discomfort here, Nikita Paris.
Yeah, she has a decision to make, Emily Heaslip. Paris, meanwhile, requires some treatments. There will be a yellow card to the goalkeeper, which implies we may well have a penalty here.
Yeah, it looks like she's pointed to the spot, the referee. See Paris here trying to just ticks the ball over, but it doesn't appear to be too much contact in it into Nikita Paris's to cause her so much pain. Let's have a little look. It's actually the boots of Nikita Paris that go into the goalkeeper on first look there. It looks to be harsh for Greffer to get the yellow card.
You can see the bemusement of the face of the German, asking, well, what's happening? She's had a few hiccups in this second half, especially for Greffer. And this one will certainly be weighing heavily on her mind. Nikita Paris still down receiving treatments.
She has come out and missed the ball completely, the goalkeeper, but it didn't look like she was the one that made contact with Nikita to cause her to be in such discomfort.
Taylor watches on anxiously. Jocelyn Pressure, I'm sure will feel the same. All these big signings really struggling. I'm wondering whether it's how she landed on her ankle. That seems to be where the most attention is going.
Yeah, it does look like potentially that would be the only reason, whether she's landed awkwardly in this instance, but you know, it doesn't give rise for a penalty if that's the case.
A big decision by Emily Heaslip. Manari has the ball under her arm, but you can be sure she is what we like to refer to as the modern-day blocker. Here's another look at that incident now.
Yeah, there's certainly, you know, no contact there from the goalkeeper. Where Nikita Paris has potentially landed awkwardly there, but it's not a penalty in my opinion.
It is extremely controversial, that decision. And Greffer will now look to try to prevent Elena Lenari from stealing this one late on for London City Lionesses. More than 100 Italy caps. She's an extremely experienced player. How can she handle this pressure? Lenari for London City. Scores! In off the crossbar. About as an emphatic penalty as you will see all weekend. And London City Lionesses, who have been plagued by conceding penalties this season, have had one in their favour. And still the inquisitions go on with the Liverpool players.
Yeah, she steps up, Lenari. She makes absolutely no mistake. crashes off the underside of the crossbar and in to Liverpool's net, and obviously it's 1-0 London City Lionesses. But as you say, the way in which the penalty was conceded will definitely be a controversial point, and you can see Borgrafa disappointed and still shaking her head in disbelief.
They are heading towards their first home win in the WSL. And you could see immediately Jocelyn Prechot gesturing to his coaches. Well, should we think about just shoring up the defence a bit more? Liverpool will feel so incredibly hard done by. Again, we've seen a number of replays of that incident, and still we're miffed as to how that has been given as a penalty.
Yeah, I think it's extremely harsh. You can see the two coming together, if you can call it that. But again, I think it's extremely harsh for a penalty.
Prompts a change. The box leaving the field. Sophie Haug coming on. And London City Lionesses will make a change of their own as well.
For me, that's a change that Liverpool have been crying out for the last 20, 30 minutes. You know, bringing her on at 90 minutes, has she really got enough time to impose herself on the game and really change the game and impact it? Highly doubtful.
There we are. A slight adjustment to the board, as at first it indicated that Anna Kennedy was coming on for the London City Lionesses goalkeeper, Elena Letta. Instead, she's on in place of Nikita Paris, who won the penalty.
To be replaced by number 33, Alana Kennedy.
The good news is she's moving freely. So hasn't been injured by that awkward landing.
No, she looks to be okay now, and obviously you see what they're doing in bringing Alana Kennedy on, as you say, just shoring up at the back and going for the 1-0 essentially.
6 minutes added on. We've got another 5 to play. Stoppage time here. We've already had some late controversial drama. Can Liverpool find a response as they head towards another defeat this season, a 4th consecutive one in the league? It will be their worst ever start to a WSL campaign in 14 years.
See Sophie Roman-Haug there just trying to drive on the players and trying to give them a little bit of encouragement, you know, a little bit of motivation, and potentially they needed a player like her on earlier in the game, especially when we were saying, you know, the forward players were getting really isolated when Liverpool got the ball. They couldn't link, you know, back to front enough, and, you know, she's a presence in there, and she's someone that potentially may have been able to do that, especially given, you know, a goal-scoring record.
Things go from bad to worse for Gareth Taylor, who has an injury concern to worry about. But for Jocelyn Prechot, well, I think before the penalty, he would have been thinking, how on earth have we not secured 3 points here? There's still, of course, a few minutes to play, but that penalty may well have saved his team from wondering what if. They passed up on a number of huge opportunities in this second half. They hit the frame of the goal in the first as well. Just one goal it is that separates the two sides.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the penalty, like you say, they have dominated possession. They've had more shots. They've had more shots on target than Liverpool. So, you know, potentially they were pushing for that goal anyway. But, you know, it's an opportunity. Well, there's 3 minutes now for Liverpool to try and get themselves salvage a point from this game.
London City Lionesses, of course, just a reminder, still yet to keep a clean sheet in the WSL. This will be a massive, massive win for them. Sent long. Shimizu underneath that one. Fernandez happy to let it run out of play. It's as though Herbinger may have an issue of her own still. Not moving all too freely, and it's that right leg that has kept her sidelined for the past 2 games.
Yeah, she does look to be struggling and in some discomfort, especially when the ball was coming in her area there. She was not moving freely at all.
Nagano. Less than 2 minutes remain. Holland. Progress halted by Corrales. We'll try a luck in field instead, and that feels like Liverpool's afternoon in a microcosm. Promising position. Get the players forward, and then it's the final ball, the final decision. Leaving a lot to be desired.
Yeah, it's pretty much the story of their afternoon today, Liverpool. It's just not worked for them, especially in that final third. Yes, they defended for their lives at times, but, you know, in the opposite end of the pitch, they've just not been creative enough, not astute enough on the ball, and lacking in quality.
It's back for her goalkeeper, Agrippa, to clear long. Now or never for Liverpool in the final minute or so. Meanwhile, Yana Fernandez has been named player of the match for London City Lionesses.
Yeah, she's been brilliant for me today out on this right-hand side. A lot of things that have came through London City, you know, chances created, causing real problems. Yeah, I think that's thoroughly deserved from the fullback.
Lindström. Into the corner, the Lionesses go. We've had our 6 minutes. Liverpool need to get this one downfield. They need to do it quickly. Mitsu losing out. Fernandez there again. An excellent turn of pace. To just zip in and get the tackle in. Needs to go long. It needs to be in the other half for Liverpool, but they just cannot get out.
Now you almost feel that London City have got too much energy, too much legs. A little bit fitter than this Liverpool side today. They're the ones still pushing right until the final whistle.
The guy brought down. And Herbiger picking up her yellow cards.
Again, she's just late, isn't she, Herbiger? She knows that Kumagai's got the beating of her.
Deep into stoppage time now. Corrales stands over this one. There was no intention of swinging it in because there is the final whistle. Linari and London City leave it late. They have their first home victory in the WSL, and it came in controversial circumstances. Liverpool will continue their protests about the award of the penalty. Jocelyn Prochet won't mind too much. His side created by far the most chances in the second half. And then finally, it required that spot kick to break the deadlock. Full-time here in South East London. It ends London City Lionesses 1, Liverpool 0.